Hi, we just arrived at the campsite and we rolled the trailer up onto these leveling blocks to make it a little more level. And then what we did was we took all of our equipment out of this back cubby, and we've got the chocks or the tires. As you can see, we placed them in there already. We've got the orange blocks that we're going to use, one on each one of these jack ends. And we've got the leveling block and the kind of manual drill. And then we've got our little bar to help with the sway bar release. So what we're going to do here is we make sure that it's level, and we can put this on the back bumper and we know that it's level by looking at it. And then what we can do is, for the other way, we're going to have to release the trailer first, but you can also see the level here, or go inside the trailer itself and see where it's level at. So right now we'll move over here. We're on the driver's side right now. Okay, now we're at the front here. We're going to take off the chains, the electrical cord, the sway bars, and all of this, and then we're going to jack up the trailer off of the ball. So the first thing you want to do is let's take off the propane cover just to make it easier, and then we'll take off these chains, which is really self-explanatory. We'll pull out the plug. We'll wrap this around the inside just to keep it safe. We'll unlock our lock. We'll pull the lock out, lift the lever, bring it up so the ball can be easily released. We'll put that back in there. And then what we'll do is take these sway bars off by being very careful. There's instruction caution, some things you might want to read. Just stay away from it. There's a spring reaction, and be careful you're away from it when you release it. There's a pin. You take the pin out, and then you drop this. Be careful when you drop it. You bring it down, and then you hear that little spring reaction. Bring it down, take off the chains, put this back up, put the pin back in. We'll go ahead and take this sway bar off, swing it around. There's little notches here. Once it reaches the notches, you can bring it down. And there's oil on the ends. Be careful you don't touch it.
Go.
Now we're on the passenger side, and we're going to do similar things. We do have this friction sway bar that we have to take off. That's fairly easy. There's a tension bar here. You just kind of release it so that this bar is loose. Then what you do is take these pins out, pull it off the two balls that are there. We'll set that down. Well, actually, before we do that, let's put these pins back in them so we don't lose them. And then we'll do the same thing we did over there. There's the pin, take the pin out, slowly get away from it, and slowly bring it down. Okay, take the chains off, put that back up, put the pin back in, take the bar. We'll swing this bar around till the notch hits, and you drop it down. So once the notch is there, you can bring it down. Again, there's grease, be careful. Now we're going to release, start jacking up the trailer.
Go.
Okay, so now we're just going to jack up the trailer. Again, make sure you have your chocks in the wheels, because this will roll back if you didn't. And then you want to have a good clearance from the ball. All right, and you can store these in the side pocket here just to keep them out of the weather. Okay, now we want to just bring everything off of the ground. We don't want anything splashed on. There's grease on here, so let's go ahead and store these behind the propane tank, which is probably the best spot for it. And we'll take this friction bar and do the same thing with it. We'll put it over here and maybe just place it on the tire. Okay. And then the chains, what we'll do with these chains, we'll just go and swing these around through the tongue. And now it's released there. So the next thing is you want to move your truck out of the way. Okay, we're going to cover up the propane tanks right now for now, and then set up camp. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the trailer is level, because otherwise if it's not, then we'll still have to crank it up and take the propane cover off. So it's good. We're good there.
Yep.
If I weren't level, I'd still have to crank it up or down based on whether it's level or not. So you want to keep that in mind too. Okay, now we're going to drop the jacks here with our, we'll put a block underneath it, and we'll go ahead and we'll bring it down. Okay, you want to make sure this is centered. The block is centered underneath the jack, and then continue to bring it down. All right, you want to kind of get it a little tight there, but again, I don't want you to use these to level it, but if it's slightly off, you can do a little bit of adjustment here. So, okay, we'll go around and do the same to all 4 jacks, and then we'll move on to something else. Okay, we're back at the rear driver's compartment, and we put the leveling jacks down. Everything's down. Now we're going to start connecting the hoses and things. Now here's the electrical. We'll take the electrical out, and in every campsite, this is a 30 amp supply here into the trailer. To connect your electric, you pop this top, you just pull it open. You kind of turn this a little bit to the side. You can see the connections a little bit to the side here until it goes in, and then you spin it. There's a little nut here, plastic, that you just screw on until it's tight. Okay, now you've got your electrical connected.
Let go.
Okay, you want to make sure you do not over tighten the plastic, because after all it's just plastic. You want it to have a nice. So now we've got the, you plug this into the campsite, and wherever that might be. We also have an adapter that we have in a bag here that'll allow you to connect to an extension cord as well. Okay, this is an adapter that'll bring you down to a 15 amp up to an extension, a nice thick extension cord. It has to be a heavy duty extension cord, and then you can use that as well. Okay, so if you are at a campsite that has fresh water, you can use the freshwater hose here that we have, the city water connection. You open the top up, go ahead and screw the freshwater hose on. Okay, so if they do have a cable connection, satellite connection, there's a connector here, and you can just connect up right there. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to unlock the doors and bring down the ladder. So there's 2 locks. There's a bolt lock. You release the bolt lock, and then the handle lock, and it opens up. And there is a little lever here that you can connect to keep that door open. You got a screen door. Here's my little helper. So to pull these steps out, you want to lift up and pull out. And you can get that first one down, take the second step and swing it down. All right, so as I go in, I'm going to take my shoes off. That's how we keep it nice and clean. I'll head in. Pause, please.
Oh no, it stopped. Oh no.